Thank you very much for joining us on Press TV, for giving us the time.
Sure.
There's a lot of speculation. A lot of people are making assumptions. What we're hearing now is Iran saying that we are seeing the atmosphere as negative, or that no progress is made, while the other side is saying that progress is made. What I'm hearing as a reporter myself is a lot of contradiction. Can you for certain confirm for us that the atmosphere at this time is positive, and that the sticking points that we all know are being discussed can actually be resolved?
Well, I think we keep the atmosphere positive. There are serious areas of difference. We have not changed our position. We have all along maintained that we want to resolve this issue. We want to make sure that there is no doubt about the exclusively peaceful nature of our program, but we want to also make sure that our right to peaceful use of nuclear energy, including enrichment, is respected. That's a right that we have. It's a right that is considered as an inalienable right. Under the Non-Proliferation Treaty, the language of the treaty is straightforward and rather absolute, that nothing in the treaty can deprive states of their inalienable right to nuclear energy. So our right is inalienable, and as such, nobody can define it, nobody can respect it, nobody can recognize it. It's there. We need international respect for this right, and that is an element that will remain. Our position has been our position, and we believe it is possible in the course of even hours to reach an agreement where these two objectives, which I believe constitute a single objective, could be satisfied in a way that represents mutual respect and equal footing. These are extremely important principles for us, that any negotiations would be a process where nobody tries to dictate its views to the other side. That we will never accept. We have never accepted that in the past. We will never accept it in the future. And I believe that the recognition of that reality has now sunk in the 5+1, and they have understood how, in what manner they need to negotiate with the Iranian side. Now, we are engaged in a negotiation. Negotiations have their ups and downs. You reach, at times, situations where you need to have consultations with capitals. So it's only natural for negotiations to hit a snag, then to continue afterwards, and that has been the process. There are times where you are more hopeful, there are times when you're less hopeful. That's, again, a part of the process. It doesn't mean that you lose hope or you become overexcited. We need to be serious. We need to conduct negotiations in good faith. We need to have the political will on all sides to resolve the issue based on respect for the rights of everybody. And I think we can make progress. I'm not pessimistic about it.
And with Catherine Ashton saying that she represents the P5+1, are you getting the impression that they've actually reached a unified stance now, and unlike the previous time, we're not going to see any one country or any one party coming up with any new suggestions or disrupting a possible agreement?
Well, 5+1 are 6 countries, and obviously they have 6 different positions. And we know that they have differences of views. Fortunately, last time, these differences prevented 5+1 from coming up with a unified position, and they spent the majority of the time trying to resolve differences within themselves. This time, I hope that, as Lady Ashton presents the views of I+1. She's presenting a unified position, at least a collective position, because we know that the positions are different. But this represents the collective decision of the six, and we are assuming that when we negotiate with Lady Ashton, she has the unenviable task of making sure that everybody is on board, and that we leave to her to make sure that she has everybody on board.
And we're hearing that right now you haven't started talking about a draft deal or a deal. Could you confirm that for us or not, whether the talks are still regarding wording and concepts, or whether we are actually talking about the text of a deal?
Well, we are talking about the text of a deal, but then in the text of a deal you have wordings and concepts that need to be clarified, that need to be ironed out. So we can all say that the majority of the text that we have to adopt at the end of the day is agreed, but nothing is agreed until everything is agreed, and there are a few areas where you have differences on both conceptual differences as well as wording differences. I think they can be bridged in a mutually satisfactory way, and it just requires some imagination, flexibility, and goodwill. And probably goodwill and good faith are the most important elements in this process. We have tried in the past several rounds to show that Iran has the political will to resolve this issue and is entering into negotiations with good faith. And we expect only the same thing from our partners in the negotiations.
I won't take your time a lot, Mr. Minister. Just quickly, I'll ask you concerning Iran's red lines. We're hearing that the Western side, or the E3+3, do have disagreements on the word enrichment in a text, and on stating clearly in the text that Iran has a right to enrichment. How far are you willing to go in terms of that issue, not just enrichment, but also the 20% enrichment level or the Arak heavy water plant? What are Iran's red lines?
Again, I'm not going to negotiate on the air, but our right to enrichment is our red line. The program that Iran has, an enrichment program that Iran has, will continue with any agreement, and that is our red line, that any agreement should include the enrichment program for Iran. We will not accept anything else other than that. We have the right, as I said, the right needs to be respected. It's an inalienable right, it's there. What is important for us is to see recognition of the fact that we have an enrichment program, and that enrichment program will continue within this agreement, and this is a red line for us, and we will maintain that red line. And I believe everybody understands our red line, and there are ways of addressing it.
Foreign Minister Zarif, thank you very much for speaking with us here on Press TV.
It's good to be with you. Thank you.